From big dreams to the bright lights of Broadway, every great performer has a dream. For Josh Grisetti, that dream began long before the applause, long before Broadway, long before television audiences came to know his face. He was a performer who made people laugh, inspired young actors, and dedicated his life to the stage. Then, in July 2026, heartbreaking news spread through the entertainment world. Josh Grisetti had died at the age of 44. Friends, fellow actors, and former students shared memories of a man known not only for his talent, but for his kindness and generosity. Tonight, we're looking beyond the headlines to tell the story of Josh Grisetti, a performer whose passion for theater touched countless lives. A love for performing. Before Broadway, before television, Josh Grisetti was simply a young boy with a passion for entertaining. From an early age, he loved music, storytelling, and making people smile. Family and friends noticed his confidence on stage long before he became a professional actor. Unlike many children who eventually outgrow their dreams, Josh never stopped pursuing his. School productions became opportunities to learn. Every performance strengthened his confidence. Every role taught him something new. For Josh, acting wasn't just a hobby. It quickly became the direction he wanted his life to take. But talent alone doesn't earn a place on Broadway. The journey ahead would require years of hard work, auditions, and countless moments of uncertainty, training for the stage. As his passion grew, Josh dedicated himself to developing his skills. He studied acting, singing, and performance with the seriousness of someone determined to build a career in theater. Musical theater demands versatility. Actors must perform emotionally demanding scenes, sing live before audiences, and maintain the energy required for multiple performances every week. Josh embraced those challenges. Rather than chasing instant fame, he focused on becoming a well-rounded performer. That commitment would eventually open doors to professional opportunities. Breaking into professional theater. Like many aspiring actors, Josh's early career wasn't built overnight. He auditioned repeatedly, accepted smaller roles, continued learning from every production. Each performance helped him gain experience and build relationships within the theater community. Gradually, directors and producers began recognizing something special. Josh possessed natural comedic timing, strong vocal ability, and an engaging stage presence that connected easily with audiences. Those qualities made him a valuable addition to musical productions. Then came the opportunity every theater performer dreams about. Broadway, the Broadway dream. Performing on Broadway represents the highest goal for many stage actors. For Josh Grisetti, that dream became reality. He appeared in several acclaimed productions, earning praise for his versatility and charisma. Whether playing comedic roles or emotionally complex characters, he approached each performance with professionalism and enthusiasm. Broadway audiences appreciated his ability to balance humor with heartfelt emotion. His fellow cast members often described him as someone who brought positive energy into every rehearsal room. The stage wasn't simply where Josh worked. It was where he felt most at home. Beyond Broadway, while theater remained his greatest passion, Josh also expanded into television and screen acting. He appeared in guest roles across various productions, introducing his work to audiences beyond live theater. One of his best-known screen appearances came in the acclaimed television series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Although his role wasn't the largest in the series, it reflected his versatility as a performer capable of moving between stage and screen. Working in television brought new experiences, but those who knew Josh often said Broadway always remained closest to his heart. Josh discovered another passion that would become just as meaningful as performing, helping the next generation of actors. A mentor and teacher. Beyond his performances, Josh became deeply involved in teaching and mentoring young performers. He led workshops, coached aspiring actors, and shared the lessons he had learned throughout his career. Former students frequently described him as encouraging, patient, and generous with his time. He celebrated their successes as enthusiastically as his own. Many credited Josh with helping them gain confidence during difficult moments in their artistic journeys. For him, success wasn't only about standing in the spotlight. It was also about helping others find theirs. A reputation for kindness. Within the theater community, talent earns respect. Character earns lasting admiration. Colleagues consistently remembered Josh as someone who supported fellow performers both on and off stage. Long rehearsals, late-night performances, unexpected challenges. Josh approached them with professionalism and optimism. People remembered his smile, his sense of humor, and his willingness to encourage those around him. That kindness became just as much a part of his legacy as his performance. By the mid-2020s, Josh Grisetti had built a career many performers dream of. Broadway, television, teaching, mentorship. It seemed there were still many exciting chapters ahead. But in the summer of 2026, the entertainment world would receive devastating news that no one saw coming. Josh Grisetti had spent years bringing joy to audiences and inspiring young performers. Yet behind every public career lies a private life that the audience rarely sees. Success, mentorship, and the tragic final chapter. For audiences, Josh Grisetti was the actor who could light up a stage with a single smile. For fellow performers, he was the cast member everyone wanted to work with. And for hundreds of aspiring actors, he was the teacher who believed in them before they believed in themselves. As his career continued to flourish, it seemed the best years were still ahead. But in the summer of 2026, everything changed. A career that continued to grow. By the early 2020s, Josh Grisetti had become one of the most respected performers in the theater community. His career wasn't built around celebrity headlines. Instead, it was built on consistency. Directors trusted him. Cast members enjoyed working alongside him. Audiences appreciated his ability to move effortlessly between comedy and heartfelt drama. Whether performing in a Broadway production, appearing on television, or taking part in regional theater, Josh approached every project with the same enthusiasm. He believed there were no small performances. Every audience deserved his very best. That attitude earned him lasting respect throughout the entertainment industry. But performing wasn't the only thing that brought Josh happiness. Away from the spotlight, he found another purpose that many fans never fully saw: giving back through teaching. While many actors focus entirely on their own careers, Josh devoted a significant part of his life to helping others succeed. He regularly taught acting workshops, mentored young performers, worked with students preparing for auditions, and encouraged artists who were just beginning their journeys. Former students often described him as patient, supportive, and genuinely invested in their success. He celebrated every breakthrough, every callback, every role, not because it reflected on him, but because he loved seeing others grow. Many aspiring actors later said Josh gave them the confidence to pursue careers they once thought impossible. His classroom became a place where mistakes were welcomed as opportunities to learn. For Josh, teaching wasn't separate from performing. It was another way of sharing his love for theater. A respected member of the theater community. Within Broadway and regional theater circles, Josh developed a reputation that extended far beyond his performances. People remembered his professionalism, his kindness, his generosity. Long rehearsal days can be exhausting. Opening nights can be stressful. Yet colleagues frequently recalled Josh as someone who lifted the mood of everyone around him. He offered encouragement, shared advice, and made newcomers feel welcome. In an industry often defined by intense competition, Josh became known for collaboration instead. That rare quality made him deeply respected among fellow performers. Then came one of the biggest television opportunities of his career, introducing his work to audiences far beyond the theater, expanding beyond the stage. Although Broadway remained his greatest passion, Josh also appeared in film and television. His work on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel introduced him to viewers who may never have attended one of his stage performances. The acclaimed series attracted audiences around the world. For Josh, television wasn't a replacement for theater. It was another opportunity to tell meaningful stories. Friends often noted that regardless of the platform, his approach never changed. Prepare thoroughly, respect every cast member, and always remember that storytelling comes first. That dedication defined every project he joined. The final months. Throughout the first half of 2026, Josh continued working, teaching, and remaining active within the performing arts community. There were no public announcements suggesting he planned to step away from his career. He remained connected with students, colleagues, and friends. To those around him, life appeared to be moving forward as usual. Then, everything changed. The news that followed would leave Broadway, television, and countless former students in complete shock. The heartbreaking announcement. On July 10th, 2026, news broke that Josh Grisetti had died at the age of 44. Authorities later confirmed that his death was ruled a suicide. Out of respect for Josh, his loved ones, and everyone affected, many public statements focused not on the circumstances of his death, but on the extraordinary life he lived and the positive impact he had on others. The announcement sent waves of grief throughout the theater community. Friends described the loss as unimaginable. Many expressed disbelief that someone who had brought so much joy to others was suddenly gone. As the news spread, theaters, acting schools, and performers across the country began sharing heartfelt tributes. An outpouring of tributes. Actors who had shared the stage with Josh remembered his generosity. Directors praised his professionalism. Students spoke about the encouragement that changed their lives. Social media quickly filled with photographs from rehearsals, opening nights, backstage moments, and acting classes. Again and again, the same words appeared: kind, funny, supportive, brilliant. Many tributes emphasized that Josh's greatest legacy wasn't limited to the roles he performed. It was the countless people he inspired. But perhaps the most meaningful part of Josh Grisetti's story wasn't found in any single performance. It was found in the lives he quietly changed behind the scenes. Broadway lost a gifted performer. Television lost a talented actor. Students lost a mentor. Friends lost someone they deeply loved. But Josh Grisetti's story doesn't end with tragedy. His influence continues every time a former student steps onto a stage, every time an audience laughs during a performance, and every time someone chooses kindness over competition. A legacy that will never leave the stage. Some actors are remembered for the awards they win, others for the unforgettable characters they portray. But Josh Grisetti will be remembered for something even greater. The way he made people feel, whether you shared a stage with him, sat in his classroom, or simply watched him perform. The same words appeared again and again. Kind, generous, joyful. His performances may have ended, but the impact he had on countless lives continues today. A life bigger than the spotlight. In entertainment, success is often measured by fame, by awards, by headlines. Josh Grisetti measured success differently. He believed in the power of storytelling. He believed every performance mattered. Whether he was performing for hundreds of people on Broadway, or helping one nervous student prepare for an audition, he gave the same energy, the same encouragement, the same passion. That commitment earned him something far more meaningful than celebrity. It earned him respect. After his passing, it became clear that Josh's greatest performance wasn't on stage. It was the difference he made in other people's lives, remembered by friends and colleagues. Following the announcement of Josh's death, tributes poured in from across the theater community. Actors, directors, writers, teachers, former students. Many shared stories that audiences had never heard before. Some remembered the encouraging message he sent before an audition. Others recalled how he stayed after rehearsals to help struggling performers. Several former students said Josh was the first person who truly believed they belonged on stage. Those memories painted a picture of someone whose influence reached far beyond Broadway. His legacy wasn't built only through performances. It was built through people. The teacher who inspired confidence. Many performers eventually become mentors. Josh embraced that role wholeheartedly. Teaching wasn't simply another job. It was part of his mission. He encouraged students to stop chasing perfection and start embracing authenticity. He reminded them that every rejection was part of becoming a stronger performer. That mistakes weren't failures. They were lessons. Years later, many of those students would step onto professional stages carrying the confidence Josh had helped them build. In that way, his work continues long after his final curtain call. But Josh's story also reminds us of something incredibly important, something that affects millions of people every year. A conversation about mental health. Josh Grisetti's passing also sparked conversations throughout the theater community about mental health. Many performers spoke openly about the emotional pressures that artists often experience. The long hours, the uncertainty, the constant auditions, the fear of rejection. These challenges are common across many creative professions. Following his death, colleagues encouraged greater openness around seeking support and checking in on one another. Many emphasized an important reminder. Someone can bring joy to others while still facing struggles that aren't visible. Acts of kindness, a simple conversation, or reaching out to someone who seems withdrawn can make a meaningful difference. Josh's story became part of a broader effort to encourage compassion and reduce the stigma around mental health. The lasting power of live theater. Unlike film, a stage performance exists only in that moment. When the curtain falls, The performance becomes a memory shared between actors and audience. That is what makes theater so special. And Josh understood that better than most. Every laugh, every song, every emotional scene was an experience that could never be repeated exactly the same way again. Thousands of audience members still remember seeing him perform. Those memories cannot be taken away. Years from now, new audiences may discover Josh Grisetti for the first time, and they'll understand why so many people admired him. An influence that continues. Young actors continue studying performances from Broadway productions. Teachers continue sharing lessons inspired by mentors like Josh. Students continue stepping onto stages with confidence because someone once believed in them. That is the remarkable thing about artists who also become teachers. Their influence grows with every generation. Josh's legacy lives not only through recordings or photographs, but through the performers he helped shape. Every successful audition, every standing ovation, every dream realized by one of his students carries a small part of his legacy forward. More than an actor, yes, Josh Grisetti was a talented Broadway performer. Yes, he appeared on television. Yes, audiences loved watching him perform. But if you ask those who knew him best, many won't begin by talking about his career. They'll talk about his kindness, his generosity, his sense of humor, his willingness to help others without expecting anything in return. Those qualities often outlast applause. They become the memories people cherish most. Long after the lights dim, long after the audience leaves the theater, the people who truly change lives are never forgotten. Josh Grisetti was one of those people. Final thoughts. Josh Grisetti's story is one of passion, dedication, creativity, and generosity. He devoted his life to entertaining audiences, mentoring young performers, and bringing warmth to every stage he stepped onto. Although his life ended far too soon, the impact he had on students, colleagues, friends, and theater lovers continues to grow. His story also reminds us of the importance of kindness, empathy, and supporting one another, both on and off the stage. If you or someone you know is struggling, reaching out to trusted friends, family members, or a qualified mental health professional can make a real difference. Seeking help is a sign of strength. Thank you for watching this documentary. If you enjoy respectful, fact-based documentaries about actors, musicians, and remarkable real-life stories, please like this video and subscribe for more. What is your favorite memory of Josh Grisetti or the performance that introduced you to his work? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's celebrate his life with kindness and respect.